In today's episode, we are excited to speak with Coach Cathy Barry, head coach of Eclipse Track Field Club, and to hear how her business is doing despite the effects of COVID-19. Coach Cathy has been a client with the Business Advisory Centre, BACD, and a participant of the Starter Company Plus program. BACD strives to be the go-to business resource for individuals looking to start or grow a business in the Durham region. We are one of 53 centers across Ontario. Our mission, that entrepreneurs we serve achieve business success. We invite you to visit our website at bacd.ca to learn more. Coach Cathy Barry is a sports performance coach who believes that a coach has the most important level of influence, negative or positive, on those athletes that they interact with. Great coaches use sport as a vehicle to enrich the lives and the futures of the athletes they train. Coaches should always inspire a safe environment that nurtures pride, confidence, courage, respect, responsibility, trust, caring, leadership, and other attributes the coach believes to be important. Help me welcome Coach Cathy Barry.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to have you with us today because it's been a few months and I know that, again, so much was happening. A lot of the participants, we had the different cohorts and everything was coming to an end sort of December, January. And it was great because people were starting to feel their rhythm. The business owners, they were starting to get a feel for what was coming down the pipeline. And it was spring. And spring, being as a coach, an athlete, etc., this is a time that people are usually getting ready, or athletes specifically are getting ready to train. So that must have had a huge impact on your business. So why don't we start first with, please tell us a little bit more about yourself and what was happening in March as you were gearing up.
So, I'd had my business by April 2019, 2020, for just under a year. And when COVID started coming around, we were in the sort of last month of our indoor season. We had a few more meets to go. The athletes were gearing up, training was going well. And then COVID hit, and on March 16th, they said, no more training indoors. Pretty much everyone was relegated to staying inside. Not just myself, but just the whole world pretty much, and lots of people. So I had to shut down my business pretty much. So the whole month of April, May, June, wasn't sure what anything would look like. Typically, our season happens we start again in April. So for me, that was a huge loss. No income whatsoever. I also had teams that I was training that I could no longer train as well. And I had contracts with them to continue on. So that part it was very unnerving. Just waiting to see what we could do. So, I did a little bit of online stuff, but it really wasn't what I like to do, what I'm passionate about. But I really had to start thinking outside the box. But, it's not my preference. Once July came and we could businesses could open up and we could train outside again, that's when we resumed. And I have been so blessed that people have been coming in droves, to the club and the business. And it's just been making up for those 3 months where I couldn't train anyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of people coming into the club, where or who do you serve?
So I serve the Durham region.
Okay.
Mostly my bigger chunk of customers come from Clarington, Bowmanville to be exact. As well as Oshawa, and I have a smaller group in Pickering where I have people that coach for me in that area. Okay. So those are the main areas that I train in.
So you do work with other coaches, or you do hire other coaches to help you as you cover greater areas? Okay. Yes, excellent. And your specialty or your coach specialty, because would you describe yourself as a fitness coach, or are you more specific to athletes looking for a coach?
Yeah, I would say I'm more specific to athletes looking for a coach. Definitely track and field is the bigger bulk of my programming, but I enjoy training kids, just to just get better at what they do. So some kids either are already involved in sport and they're looking to get better at their sport. So that would mean maybe increase their speed, their performance, their power, their strength, agility, balance, all those things. Some kids are just looking for, how do I run better? How do I become more efficient at running better? How do I become more fit? And some people are just looking for confidence to be better at something, right? And I don't turn away anyone because I believe, everyone's got that ability to improve whatever it may be. And so we offer running, jumping, throwing for any of the kids that want to try it.
That's good. So that sort of leads to my next question, because I love it when a person starts talking about what they love, etc. There's a certain light up that comes into it, and it's great, I think, as a business owner to follow that passion. And so, in that case, could you summarize what it is that you love or enjoy most about what you do?
For me, it's always just being able to touch someone else's life. And with kids, it's just easier because they kind of look at you and they take your input, and they kind of do what you ask. They're curious, and they change, they adapt. Adults are a little more set in their ways, but kids, you can kind of, influence them slightly, which is a good thing. When I'm training kids, and I see the changes in them, I make a point to make sure that I let them know, you're improving so much, even though you may not be the fastest or the best, like what a difference. And with every child that I've ever trained, that's been the case. Like no matter what, even if it's just one session, maybe two, maybe more, the improvement is always so dramatic, and, it builds their confidence up. It makes them happy. You can see in their face when you tell them something about themselves that is, they didn't think was possible, is like the spark that they have, just like you talk about the spark that I have. And for me, it never feels like I'm going to work.
Right.
It doesn't feel like a job. It's actually an enjoyment because I get to be around kids all day and we laugh. It's not always, fun and games, but for the most part, I get as much out of it as I put into it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So putting on your business owner hat on at the moment and thinking or reflecting on your experience so far, what would you say are the top 3 skills needed to be a successful entrepreneur? Whether that's something you had when you coming in or something that you became beginning to realize as you continue on this journey.
So having a really good vision as to what you would like to do. If you haven't started your business already, like planning things out and having a vision and being realistic about that vision. And what that vision means in terms of all the aspects of marketing, branding. I kind of look at it when I first started my business, it was like my business was in the middle, and then I branched out to what are the things that I need to make this successful. So the planning of it was the biggest thing. And then how to market yourself. Whether that's through a website, social media, all those things, and doing the research necessary to do those things and do them well. I also have a very much a determined sort of personality where when I take on something, I take it on like 100%. So it's following through with all those things. And then through I wasn't the strongest with the finance part, the accounting part of it, but through BACD, that's been like huge for me, which is very important because at the end of the day, the bottom line is what's most important. So that aspect of it is extremely important, having those strong foundations, because otherwise you're just going to get lost.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I always say the financials they're the GPS of your business. They tell you if you're going the right direction or the wrong direction. And it's to understand how to read that GPS, right? But I love it. So you gave us a bonus tip with the financials, but I heard, so clear vision is very important. Recognizing once you have that vision, how are you going to market it? So how are you going to get the word out? The determination, but even more so when you were describing determination, I heard the description, it was commitment. So once you decided on something and you determined to achieve it, you committed to carrying it through. So to see it through the end. So that's brilliant. And of course, like I said, the bonus tip of the financials, getting that foundation and those type of things in place is so important, right? So that's great. I love it. And then that falls into sort of the key activities you would recommend entrepreneurs invest their time in, because I think that every aspect of those requires time. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think when we're speaking with clients, we recognize that they're spending a lot of time doing the business. So they're in the business, but there's not much in what all those aspects you just talked about. And that's the on the business. So as the business owner, it's still a very important component. So a couple more questions. This one, I want you to sit in a moment and think that if nothing could go wrong, if you were guaranteed to succeed with this, what would you do? Would you continue where you're going? Would you take it to another level? Guaranteed to succeed in it.
If I'm guaranteed to succeed in it, which I have been, knock on wood that continues. I like where I am right now because everything is sort of, it's still fairly new. And I like to be great at that one particular thing and really make sure everything sort of is quality rather than sort of do it piecemeal, if you will, you know? So for now, I'm really happy with where things are now. You know, if things really take off, ultimately for me, I would love to have my own facility where I can train. You know, that would be the ultimate goal, where I can have my own place to train people as much as I want, as little as I want, to give back, to do what we need to do without being at the mercy of waiting for others to do certain things. But, you know, will that be a reality? It's possible.
Guaranteed to succeed. Why not, right? So with that, and with the winter and fall months upon us, well, fall months for sure, this is sort of the last question in this, what's the next move for you going forward? Any special programs you want to share with the listeners? Anything else you want to share with us about what's coming down the pipeline for you?
Yeah, so we train indoors at the Oshawa Civic Dome in Oshawa. Excellent. And so I've just been given my days where I'll be training. And I've also got a separate gym that I'll be doing some strength training. So because this year is a little different in terms of sharing the track with different clubs and having limited time that I did last year, I've had to think a little bit outside the box and offer 1 day a week track program, a 1 day a week track program, plus strength training, or a 2 day week, or just the strength. So those are things that they're slightly different. Before you just got a membership and came as many times as you wanted to, but now it's more, you do have to pick the day that you want, but there's 5 different options to the programming. And also I'll be doing some speed training, which will be only geared to be at the gym. But that'll open up some spots for some kids that want to do that. And then I am looking at doing like a winter sort of outdoor training program, outdoor sort of boot camp, cross training type of stuff where you put on your snowsuit, you put on your snow boots, and we go train outside in the snow and have fun, make some snow angels while we're at it.
Excellent.
I've done that before, so.
Excellent. And I mean, it's yeah, anything right now to get outside and to try and embrace it all, right? But this is wonderful. Cathy, I'm so happy for you, and I wish you continued success. I invite you to reach out again as you move forward. If you need more help, you know how to reach us at BACD. And I'm very excited for what's coming down the pipeline for you.
Thank you. No, I am too. And yeah, I mean, I'm so glad I took the business starter program, and I would recommend it to anyone, because even though I'd already been in business, for me, I've always been the type of person that I don't know everything, nor do I ever think I know everything. And I'm always looking for continuous improvement. So for me, this was a good stepping stone to keep doing that. And I know you guys put on different workshops, which I've signed up to do, which are great. And there's one that I wanted to do, but I couldn't do it because it wasn't at the right time for me. But I'm hoping you guys are going to put it on again. But no, those things are great. And I'm very thankful for that.
Well, we're glad that we could assist where we could. And again, it's to help you succeed. And we want to be, as we say, your greatest cheerleaders. So if you're a business owner looking to start or grow a business in Durham region and you need cheerleaders, you need support, you need guidance, BACD.ca. Thank you so much, Coach Cathy. Great to see you again. And I can't wait to see you in person soon.
Great. Thank you.